Hi, you guys. This is Fatal Seduction, Season 1, Episode 3, Committed. So the scene opens up, and everybody is at the dinner table because it is Leo and Nandi's 10th anniversary. Bio, Brenda, Nandi, and some other people. And they're doing like the little cheers. And now they're giving gifts. And Leo presents Nandi with two swans because he says the two swans are loyal to each other and mates for life. And Brenda's looking at him like, oh, that's bullshit. And then Vale's looking like, huh, really? And Brenda, she's drunk. Oh my God, you guys, she is drunk. And she says, according to Google, swans are known to mate for life, right? And Vale's just looking at her. And then she says, female swans are caught, effing around. And she goes, what do you think about that, Lenny? And she spills the bottle of wine. And Vio's like, what are you doing? And Leo's like, this, you don't know how expensive this table is. And she goes, oh, Nandi. And she's touching on Leo's head, and she's like, he's falling at my feet. Be careful, Nandi. And Leo goes, stop it. And then Nandi's like, let's go change, Brenda, let's go change. And then Vio goes, can you please attend to her? I'll make sure she gets home. Oh my gosh. And then Zen, oh gosh, she is so cute. This girl that's playing Zen right now, she is so beautiful. It's because Zen is, I think, like a little kid. The kid is beautiful. Yeah, did I just say Brenda was drunk? She is belligerently drunk at this point. Vio gets her home. Yeah, she's stumbling all over the place. She's leaning to the side, all crooked and shit. And Vio's looking at her like, okay, you know what? I got somewhere to go. And Brenda's like making faces, pouty faces, duck lip faces. And she's like, oh, you got someone to go to. So she holds out her hand and then she takes the other hand and starts clapping the hand and walks towards Vio. So he goes anyways, and they're just throwing shots back, dancing, shaking her ass on Vio. And then all of a sudden, they start getting booty butt naked and they start doing the do. So they're laying in the bed, and Brenda's like, I can't stop thinking about her. If I knew it was her last day, I would. And Vio's like, oh, we're gonna find her killer. Don't worry. My brother think it's Benjamin Jabba. And Vio's like, whoever killed her, whoever raped her, they're gonna get it. And Brenda's like, thank you. Yo, them cheeky bastards. Yeah, someone put a hitman on Vile, y'all. And they shot him. Like, it's like between the ankle and the back of the leg. Oh God, what is that called? Oh my gosh. Oh, I know that ligament got hurt by now. That's why that man walks with a the calf, y'all. It's called the calf. Okay, so the scene shifts and it's with the girls, Laura and Zen. And Zen is talking to Pokeboy. And he was like, tell me a secret. And she was like, I'm a virgin. And he's like, dirty and all types of stuff. And Laura was like, are you still texting? And she was like, yeah, he wants to know a secret. And she goes, oh, you're telling him your aversion. And she was like, do you know anything about catfishing? So Laura took the phone, telling it's a red flag. And Zen was like, Laura, you need to give me my phone back. What the hell are you doing? I'm ignoring you, so just give it up. So, she's typing, it's unfair that you know me, whatever. And I'm late for class. And then Laura takes the phone again and they start giggling. So now the scene shifts and Nandi's in class teaching. And she notices that Jacob is not in the class. And she's asking the students if they have seen Jacob. And people are like, no, mm-mm. So the scene shifts, and Nandi is sitting in her car. And she is calling Jacob. Yo, Jacob is working on his motorcycle. He's not answering. He's like, you know what? If nothing happened, nothing happened, right? And she's talking about, you missed class today. This is your professor. Give me a text message or a phone call. Thanks, or whatever. Jacob is in love with Nandi, but he got a trick up his sleeve. So he texts Nandi, I'm dropping out. So Bayo is back at Brenda's house where is a crime scene, and he's having a flashback of him in that same exact spot where he got shot at 10 years ago. And then the detective shows up and it's like, beep, beep. It wakes him up out of his daydream. So the scene shifts and Vio pours the detective wine. And uh, the detective is like, this is still an active crime scene. What are you doing? And he said, it was a wild night. One woman is married, one is dead. This has nothing to do with Brenda killing herself. And the detective was like, well, who's the one on the case? Mind you, I'm on the case. And he goes, do me a favor. And the detective is looking like, okay. He goes, so close the case. It's just a suicide. So the scene shifts and they're at a local. And Laura's like, snatches the phone. And Zen is looking like, she just keeps snatching my phone. And Laura types in, I want to meet with you today. And Zen was like, stop. And then Laura's like, no, you stop. And then he goes, well, how about the logo? And then they're looking confused. They're looking around. And then they seen this girl turn back. And Laura was like, Zen, is Pokeboy a girl? So the girl gets up. Oh gosh, she's so pretty with her pretty blonde dreadlocks. Oh my gosh, she's so pretty. And she walks past, but Zen, so as she's coming, Zen stands up, and then she just walked right past to another woman. Oh, that's so crazy. Okay, so Nandi takes it upon herself and just rolls up to the shop. So Jacob is fixing on his motorcycle. And then so he sees Nandi and he puts his phone in his pocket and he zips up his pocket. And so Nandi was like, is there any way we can talk privately? Mind you, guys, there's like nobody in the shop. Child. And so Jacob goes into the office, and Nandi's like, well, I'm just here as your professor because, you can change classes, but just don't quit. So Jacob is walking all up on her all slowly and sexy, and Nandi's like huffing and puffing, like she ready to just take off the clothes, baby. And so he goes, oh, you're only here as my professor. And Nandi's like, yes. And Jacob is like coming close to her lips, and then he moves his head to the side, and then he goes, only? Also, now Jacob's trying to play hard to get on Nandi. Just walk out the door, Nandi, because this boy is playing. You guys, this man, baby, he let Nandi step close, get a little bit of close. He backs up. He let Nandi walk a little close, then backs up. I'm like, boy, you playing. Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. It's just like it's predictable at this point. It's like when Nandi and Jacob get together, it's like that sexual chemistry just goes bow bow. Okay, so he goes, "Why are you really here?" He puts his hand on her hip, rolling it up to her big titty and shit, and it proceeds to just take her clothes off, baby. Yo, Jacob sure does like licking some punani because he loves licking Nandy's punani. Okay? So now, after they do the do, they're laying on the bed. And Nandy's like, oh my gosh, is it a crime to be this happy right now? Girl, of course it is. You cheating on your husband, girl. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to spoil this for y'all. Boo. You know that ain't Leonard's baby, but whatever. So Jacob's like, why? Like, why is it wrong to be happy? And she goes, Leo. And he goes, well, why did you pick him? And she goes, oh, I felt pregnant and he pressured me to marry him. She didn't have to. So she was like, I'm about to leave him anyways. And, Jacob was like, is it because of me? And she goes, no, it's because of him. And then she says it's because of Brenda, and he was just like, I just need to leave him alone anyway. So she's talking about Brenda made her realize that her marriage was over years ago. And she really misses Brenda. Vio, baby, you gonna be alone forever. Because Mandy ain't gonna be alone, baby. Let me tell you, she got Jacob, baby. Okay, so the scene shifts and they're at Brenda's funeral, right? And they're crying and everything. And so Nandy's having a vision. So she sees Jacob come from behind the headstones, right? Like he's security or something. And then she sees Brenda just pop up right beside him. And she's waving to her. And Nandy's like, oh my God. Like, oh my God, am I really seeing this? And Leo's like, Nandi, are you okay? So she snaps out of it. And then when she looks, there's nobody there. And Amada, Amira texts Leo and was like, hey, should we postpone? And so he goes, okay, I'll see you tomorrow or later tonight or whatever he said. So he goes like 2 feet away and he's talking to Amara on the phone. Like, yeah, hey, book it. I'm on my way. And Vio is talking to Nandi, and Nandi was like, she gave me some good advice years ago, and I think I'm going to take it. And then they all look at Leo. And so she was like, some couples are just not meant to stay together. And he goes, Nandi, what are you talking about? You know, Leo loves you. He's not cheating on you. Don't do anything that you will regret. And and he's like, you're gonna end up like me alone. And then that's why I had that rant. Yeah. So Vio knows that Nandi is cheating because he's like, oh, it's that little side thing of yours still going on. And Nandi's like, let's not disrespect each other. And Vio was like, oh, I know he's a piece of shit, but he doesn't deserve this. And Nandi's like, mind your business, and walks away. Yeah, so Nandi's in bed looking at Leo because Leo's fast asleep. So her phone lights up and it's Jacob, and he's like, hey, have you talked to him yet? She goes, no. And then he goes, if don't talk to him, it's going to get harder. And she goes, I know, I already contacted a divorce lawyer. And then he's like, oh, my place smells like you days after you left. And then Nandi was like, what would you do to me if I was there? I was like, oh, girl, Nandi with them nasty thoughts. So Nandi and Jacob, they're they're still texting, obviously. And he was like, whatever you want. And she goes, what would you do? He goes, I would appreciate your body. Show me a picture of your naked body. And takes a picture of her hand in her drawers. And then she sends it to him, and he's like, oh, I'm already getting hot. And then Nandy starts, oh my God, I don't know how people do this, but, she just starts touching herself. And then she puts her hand down there and, she does the do with herself. So the scene shifts and it's class time. So Jacob is in class today. Oh, so heartwarming to see. And Nandy walks in and she notices something on her desk and it's a rose with a letter on it. And she looks up at Jacob. Jacob is smiling and blushing. It's so cute. So cute. And she just smiles. Oh, girl, he's making you feel like a woman. Okay, so the scene shifts and Nandi is asleep in bed. And Leo comes in and was like, my love, my love, my love. Because I'm so sorry to wake you, but I gotta go cover for a seminar, as the minister of justice. I gotta do what I gotta do. So they're walking outside and she goes, how long will it take? How long you be back? And he's like, oh, I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is our anniversary. Do not make plans. And then Amada is in the car. Okay. And Nandy's just looking like, so the scene shifts, and we already know where Nandy went. Nandy went to Jacob's house, and they're getting their freak on and doing the dewey. And Jacob is like, I want to be in your life. And Nandy's just kissing his chocolate ass. Yeah, so Laura. So the scene shifts, and Laura and Zen are out of local, and Zen is so down because she haven't heard from Pokey Boy in a couple of days. And she was, and Laura was like, oh, you still haven't heard from, the boy or whatever it is. And she goes, no, I haven't, and she goes, if you blue tint or blue tick me one more time, I'm going to block you. How does that sound? And Laura was like, are you? And she goes, definitely, maybe. Okay, so the scene shifts back to Jacob and Nandi, and Jacob is drawing this picture of Nandi, and she was like, "Oh, you are such a professional with these drawings," and he goes, "This is what you do to me." And she goes, "Oh, I have to leave. I have to go back. It's my anniversary," and but they're speaking in their native language, and he goes, "This hurts me," and she goes, like, "I'm living a lie." And Jacob was like, "So stop living the lie." And she goes, "I will." And he goes, "Oh, I heard that before." And she's like, "I'm falling for you. And I've been scared to say it, but I've loved you. I've loved you before we even met." Oh, Jacob is so cute. Oh, wow. Like, why don't she just be in a relationship with Jacob? So the scene shifts and they're walking Nandi to her car, and they're giggling and all this stuff, like happy in love couples do. And Vile shows up, and Jacob's like, "Old man, who the fuck are you? What I'm doing here?" And Vile's like, "What are you doing on your anniversary?" And then and Nandi was like, "Vile, how did you even know I'm here?" And Vayo's like, "This is a kid. He's 19, 20 years old. What are you doing, Nandi?" And then Jacob's like, "I'm 24. Screw you, old man." And then Vayo's like, "I'm trying to help you." And Nandi's like, "Mind your business and get back into your car." And then Violet's like, "You want to fuck up your life, then do it." And then Nandi's like, "Fuck you." And yo, why is there people in the background staring like something's about to go down because Jacob was about to bum rush Vio? Yo, Vio, your old ass better sit down because that young buck, he's coming for you, baby. So Leo uses the daughter as a bait, right? Very clever. Fathers, they know how to do it, right? So she says, "Mom, can you come get me? I'm stuck at the Shambush, whatever. I just call it a loco. And can you come pick me up? I've been drinking and driving." And she was like, "Yeah, just drop your location, drop your pin." And she goes, "Mom, happy anniversary." Yo, so she's texting Pokeboy like Pokeboy is her man. So Zen was like, "Fine, you effing ghost. See you never. Answer your phone before I block you." So Pokeboy is like, "Been crazy. My phone has been stolen. Where are you?" And then the scene shifts back to Nandi, and the lawyers was like, "Hey, I sent you the divorce papers. Do you want me to file them? What's going on?" And Nandi's just looking like, "Oh my gosh." Okay, I got one thing and one thing only to say. Why does Africa have the most beautiful blue, clear water? But here in California, the water's all nasty and green and got cans and shit floating all in it. Yo, Zen is really pulling out all the stops. So Nandi comes, she arrives, right? And she goes, "Zen, I don't see you. Where are you?" She goes, "Mom, you need to come in because I think I went over the credit limit." And she goes, "Zen, that is so unnecessary." And she goes, "Mom, I know, but I really need you to come in." So Nandi was like, "You know what? Fine." So when Nanny gets there, the stairs are all lit up. And Nanny gets there, everybody's like, surprise! And Nanny's like, oh my God. Oh, Jesus. And, Leo comes from the back and he goes, happy 20th anniversary, baby. Did you think I would forget? And, and Nanny looking stupid, like, oh my God, you know? And then so she's trying hard not to kiss him, but so she's flinching her head a little bit, but she ends up kissing him. And then they're like, come on, baby, let's go get changed. Okay, so the scene shifts, and it's this dark figure on the trees, and it's texting, hey, did your mom like the surprise? And Zen, she does the dance and the clouds and everything, and you guys, Pokey Boy is Jacob. Oh my God. I can't believe this, you guys. Oh, Lord, he's stalking Nandy again. And that is the end of the episode. I'll see you in the next one.